Their great promos capture the same vibrant energy as their amazing live performances.
The videos I've worked with them on were for Other Side and for Californication and By the Way and the Zephyr Song.
The first video I made with the Chili Peppers was, I guess, probably 1985 or 86. I was in film school at UCLA, and I directed a video called Catholic Schoolgirls Rule. And then after that, the next video that I directed for them was Fight Like a Brave.
I think our Give It Away video is kind of cool. I really like that one.
I really love the Give It Up. I've always loved the Give It Away one a lot.
It's funny, Flea actually told me that, you know, being in a music video and being on stage, while to the viewer they may appear to have the same kind of energy, they're extremely different as far as he's concerned. And the reason is, in a music video, he's not even actually playing the song because he's playing to the track that's already been pre-recorded. He's lip-syncing. And that performance is being captured kind of forever. It's being recorded and it's going to exist as the video or whatever it is. But when they're performing live, what he told me, he says that's completely different. That's more like art to him, because it's like it's only going to exist at that moment. It's only about the music. He's not so concerned about what he's looking like or if he's jumping around or what he's feeling other than the music at that time. It's definitely a plus that Anthony and Flea have you know, a fair amount of acting experience, mostly in films, I think, although obviously they've done videos for many years. But that really helps out a lot, because I think they're more willing to try things, because I think they're really confident in how they appear on camera and in what they do and kind of how everything works.
Well, they're professionals, you know. When I first worked with them, they were, again, the best adjective that I can come up with is they're like super balls. You know, you sort of bounce them really hard and they just sort of ping off of everything because there's so much energy going on there. But it's actually fairly easy to control that energy to get what you want out of it, because you don't really need to control it at all. You just need to be a part of it and capture it.
So when we shot By the Way, we shot that in downtown Los Angeles and closed off, you know, a bunch of streets and that kind of thing. And it was kind of fun because there was a lot of stunt work and car chases and things like that.
It was one of the funnest videos we ever made. We got to close down streets, you know, where we live in LA, and jump from car to car. And the actor was so incredible. David Sheridan, the guy who played the cab driver, for 4 days straight would not break character and just had everyone on the floor. Unbelievable guy.
You know, Anthony did all of his own stunts in the By the Way video, particularly the scene where he has to jump out of a cab into the car that Flea and John are driving in. And when we were shooting it, it was always our understanding that for the actual shot where he had to jump between the cars, we were going to have a stunt person do it. We had a stunt double there, and he looked exactly like Anthony. You know, there was not going to be any question. No one would know the difference. And Anthony said at one point, he said, "Well, let me just see what it would be like. I just want to ride along and just see what would be involved with it." So, you know, we hooked them all up to do it, and he said, "Are you guys going to roll on this?" And we said, "Yeah, sure, we'll roll." It was just like a rehearsal, and we didn't really expect anything to happen. And he did the jump from the cab, and you know, the record label and the management company were horrified. You know, they were freaked out, like, what would have happened if he had missed where he had to, you know, land, because we were going, I don't know, we were probably going about 30 miles an hour, and he jumped from one car to another. And so I think that's why he didn't want to tell anyone ahead of time that he was doing it, because people would have tried to talk him out of it. But he's always said that you know, whatever the crazy things are that they do in their videos, it's very, very tame compared to what he and Flea have done in their past, and you know, when they were going to Fairfax High School in Hollywood together.
On stage and on camera, the Chili Peppers seem wild and full of energy, with colleagues telling a story of true professionals.
It's always surprising to me to meet people that you've only seen on stage and on TV, because some of them live that persona, and some of them it's purely on stage and they know it's on stage, and some of them don't even see the difference. Like, you know, you sit down and they're really nice and quiet, and then on stage they go crazy and they don't even really see it as being anything different. So, but as far as I can tell, they're just having so much fun on stage that that's just what they do.
I play for a band called the Action Cats here in Los Angeles, and for a whole summer we were in the adjacent rehearsal room to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's a place that's closed now called the Swing House over on Hollywood Boulevard, and so we had a daily insight into the workings of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, kind of doing what they do, you know, rehearsing their music.
The most important thing to them is this band, and I don't mean the success or failure of this band, but the idea of the band and the idea of the music in the band.
Well, the thing that's always surprised me was that between sessions of actually rehearsing, they would all huddle in the parking lot there, usually around Chad's Harley Davidson, and there'd always be all the hangers on there that you'd expect, all the industry people and the girls and whatever. But if you could actually heard what they were talking about, they were always just discussing the music in very specific terms. They'd talk about, you know, let's go back in and lean into that bridge more, let's work on this more, let's work on that more. They really were focused on the music itself.
They're not the kind of people who show up on set and start drinking beer and, you know, just party all day long while you're shooting. And there's tons of artists who do that, and that's just what they think is acceptable. And if that works for them, you know, that's fine, but that is not the Chili Peppers.
And their friends reassure us that what you see is what you get.
I don't think that they hide much, actually. If you follow any of their interviews, or you know, any way that they need to express themselves via promoting their music, they're pretty honest guys. And you know, of course, like most artists, they draw the line between personal life and what they're willing to give to their public, but at the same time they're pretty honest about where they come from, and I think that there are no real surprises. You know, Anthony's charming and wonderful and a little outgoing, and he can also be quiet and introspective.